Hey, everybody. This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good looking friends. It's that time of year to honor the late Diana, Princess of Wales, with honoring her legacy through the Diana Awards. So, what exactly is the Diana Award? Well, it was established in memory of Diana, Princess of Wales. The Diana Award is the most prestigious accolade a young person aged 9 to 25 years can receive for their social action or humanitarian work. I'm going to play devil's advocate and ask, is it the most prestigious accolade that a young person from age 9 to 25 can achieve? According to who has made this determination? I'm sorry to say, but anything that Harry and Meghan are involved with, I have to question, and I look at things a bit differently. For starters, here's something that I discovered today, and I'm not sure if many of you are aware that Prince William and Prince Harry do not have any affiliation with this charity organization. The two brothers support it, but they are not affiliated financially or have any kind of stake as a trustee or a board of director for this company. I assume that they were involved because it's their mother and it's her legacy. However, that's not the case. It does appear that both of the brothers endorse the organization, and it is marketed in a way that they are tied to it because it is their mother. From what I can see on the surface, the messaging from the website and the uplifting stories that they have been telling seems extremely positive. On the surface, it's theoretically everything that Diana, Princess of Wales, represented. But upon closer examination, I am questioning the motives of how Diana is being used, especially with William's involvement, whether it be from a PR standpoint by saying a couple of encouraging words annually for this award presentation. It's eye opening to me that the Instagram account for the Diana Award charity only posted what William said in his speech as well as a photo of him. You would think because Diana had two sons, they would have included both of them, but they chose William over Harry. I think it's a good indicator that they don't want to use Harry's face because of the backlash, and knowing that his behavior does not mirror the essence of what Diana represented. This definitely was a PR move by this charity, and they used William. Previous years, they had Harry as a spotlight. And that's because this organization, when you peel back the onion, you realize that it is all about promoting these woke ideologies that have been destroying our society and pushing the globalist agenda. We all know that Harry is on board and aligned with these nefarious individuals, but I question, does William support this kind of thinking as well? Let me show you what it is looking like to me. I'll go through the differences between the brothers' speeches so you can see that there's a vast difference between the messaging that William gave versus the messaging that Harry gave. But it's important that I first give you the background of the organization's mission and objectives, as well as the people who make up the organization and the financial backing they're receiving to support some of the programs that the Diana Award represents. So let's take a look at their most recent annual report so you get an idea as to what this organization is all about. So this organization is another organization that is targeting the youth, parading around as empowering the youth and helping them unlock their potential in order to create the change and impact for the future. Now, when I hear this type of word salad going on, where our mission is to empower young people to lead that change through a range of initiatives which unlock their potential, inspire action, and create opportunities, ensuring that no young person is left out or left behind, it's hard to see how these so-called impact-driven organizations are making things better for social injustice and bridging the gap of inequality. And as I read through this, the same lingo is being used, like purpose-driven work and taking action and kindness and compassion. You would think that this was Archwell Foundation, aka public charity. Now, I don't doubt that some of this work that's being done is positive, In theory, it should be positive, but when you look at the people involved and you realize their agendas, it does bring concern. When I see language that is pervasive, that appears to me to be exploitative, I have to question the motives and the true intentions of the people behind the organization and what they're trying to do. So, for instance, in the first objective, they are very clear that 25% of these Diana Award recipients, or 25% of these programs, is definitely focused on the UN Sustainable Development Goals of reducing inequality and gender equality. Now, for those that don't know what those UN SDG goals are, let me pop those up real quick. I've talked about the UN before. Most recent was in the video for Travelists, in which I talked about these ESG goals that almost every corporation now are using as a framework in order to generate business, to fall in line with this global framework, which is backed by the WEF and in full support of the UN taking on a global role to govern and rule the world as a governing body that is above the law. They operate with impunity, and it is known that there's a widespread abuse of power and sexual misconduct that exists and is being ignored. In addition, there's nepotism, bullying, and for those that speak out, workplace retaliation. And because this abuse of power goes unpunished, you end up with an organization that has a fair amount of corruption. So for them to be putting together a framework for the world to follow and recognizing that its central focus is capitalism, then really how much interest is there to solving all these problems? What they're doing is creating this agenda, and we know this, we've been talking about it, for the rich to get richer and suck off of the vulnerable people. And this is the problem that I have with all these ESG goals and the corporations falling in line, because they're not really solving anything. They're just getting richer off of exploiting the vulnerable and minority people. And that's what makes me angry. Like, let's take a look at a few of these sustainable development goals so you'll understand when I get back to talking about the Diana Award why all of this is such a farce. So when we look at number 2, zero hunger, so we see that and they talk about that. But do we ever hear about ending market speculation and stopping the manipulation? Because we know that it's happening. Or how about when we look at reducing unemployment, creating jobs? Do we ever hear about people saying, you know what, we should not consolidate people's jobs and force them to do more with less, forcing people to work longer and harder? I do think that if they really were serious about improving mental health and reducing poverty, then create more jobs and give people back some time so they can spend with their families, as opposed to driving someone into the ground and then tossing them out when they're no longer useful. Or at that point, making them so sick that they have to rely on pharmaceuticals, because achieving SDG number 3, good health and well-being, you have to be dependent on medicine and vaccines and biotech, right? We could totally cure a sick society with a healthy society and healthy environment, healthy practices. But nah, we can't do that because it's all about the money. So now let's go back to the Diana Award so you can see where I'm going with this. So as you can see, the Diana Award organization is completely aligned with these UN SDG goals. A big focus of this organization is the goal of reducing inequality and gender equality. It angers me at how discriminatory this is. One of their core pillars of this organization is this young change makers. And this part of the Diana Award is about a program designed to bring together young people with Black or Black mixed race heritage. Forget being Asian, forget being white. We're only going to give you mental health well-being support if you have Black or Black in you, like our Duchess. I don't see how the main program that they have for mental health is only designated and geared towards the youth of African descent. To me, I find this extremely discriminatory and does not show that they're all about inclusivity, because if the main reason for an increase in need for support for mental health among the youth is because of the pandemic, didn't the whole world go through this pandemic and had to abide by the same restrictions and uncertainty, especially the youth, and not being able to go to school and being in an environment around people? This took a toll on everybody, whether you were Black, Chinese, white, didn't discriminate. So why are they offering services to only youth that are of Black descent? And it bothers me when organizations like this, who are all about diversity and inclusion, and their own workforce is anything but. How can you envision a world of being more equal and just when your own organization doesn't even represent what you're preaching? I mean, for the most part, 70% of this company is comprised of Caucasian women. How is that bridging the gap for gender equality and inclusion? This doesn't look inclusive to me. I guess they don't embody their mission of creating opportunities and leaving no one behind. But this is not the most concerning part of this organization. What raises the biggest concern for me is seeing who the main funder and supporter of this organization.
Now, today would never be possible without the generosity of our partners and funders. And one of those sponsors is Gilead Sciences, whose unwavering support has played a huge role in providing countless opportunities for our award recipients to grow and develop. And at the forefront of making all of that possible is the incredible Senior Vice President of Public Affairs, Alex.
First of all, I would like to congratulate all the young recipients of the Diana Award on behalf of everyone at Gilead Sciences. It would be an unusual partnership, a pharmaceutical company with the Diana Award, but...
You don't say. This company, who is headquartered out of California, has been investing millions of dollars into this trans movement and focusing on research and development into these medications that manipulate hormones in young people. In Gilead's ESG impact report, they have a full-on slide about aligning with the UN and their SDG goals, as I had explained earlier as to what these corporations are doing.
We see that the fact that our values and our mission is very similar, especially when it comes to social change. And when you need to have social change, you need leaders who are visionary, who are bold, who are selfless.
And who are young, so you can take advantage of them and grooming them into falling in line and being compliant so they can fulfill their agenda to line their pockets. And I hate the fact that we're seeing these large corporations preying on these charities that desperately need the money in order to stay in business and do the things that they are claiming to say that they want to do, with truly helping and uplifting the youth in order to make real impact. Here is a company that price gouged COVID-19 treatment and is sitting with Prince Harry in LA holding some type of event that Gilead paid for. Let's all not forget that hypocrite Harry and his witch wife were up on stage in New York City preaching to the world that pharmaceutical companies need to let everybody have the patent so price can come down and everybody have access to these vaccines. I'm sorry to sound so cynical, but we all know that Harry doesn't do anything unless it benefits himself. So whether it be lining his own pockets or for his image, this to me is so exploitative, and these people need to stay away from our kids. And shame on these people for using Diana as the cover in order to manipulate the youth. That's what I see here. And whether or not Prince William is aware of Gilead's problems here in the United States, it's not a good look that he is pretty much a face for the organization, even though there isn't any financial or legal connection. For all we know, Prince Harry probably got paid for being a guest at this roundtable and somehow is benefiting from Gilead's pharmaceutical endeavors. Obviously, we know that William is part of the WEF organization, or consortium of people. But is he aligned with these greedy capitalists in pushing these agendas? I find that they're extremely dangerous and they're not solving anything. I genuinely believe that Prince William wants to make this world a better place, and he comes from a place where it's not about him, but genuinely about helping and uplifting others, not only by his words, but also by his actions. And I think that that makes more of an impact versus virtue signaling and telling people what to do and you doing the opposite. When you listen to William, it's motivational, it's powerful, it's sexy.
I had the privilege of meeting Hannah in 2021 when she received her Legacy Award. At that time, I was struck not only by her incredible resilience, but also her unwavering determination to effect positive change. Her tireless advocacy and powerful words have been instrumental in creating change for so many. Hannah's story is one of many.
Notice that Prince William said the kindest things about this woman that he met who received this award. Listen to Prince Harry talk about the recipient that he's sitting next to.
Please welcome Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex.
Thank you, V, for the very warm welcome. It's a pleasure to be here today celebrating the incredible achievements of young people who embody the spirit of the Diana Award. V, I'm especially honoured to have the chance to speak with you again. Your dedication to equality and justice has inspired many, including myself.
Do you guys see the difference? Now listen to William talk about the recipients and why they are special.
Every single one of the young people we are celebrating today have been on their own unique journey, driven by their own passions, perspectives, and life experience. What unites them is their courage, compassion, and a relentless dedication to improving the lives of others. But as we celebrate the achievements of these exceptional young people, let us not forget the challenges they have overcome to get here. The road to making a difference is not always easy, but as we celebrate the impact they have made, we are reminded that no challenge is insurmountable. Today, we recognize the power of all young people to inspire meaningful change. To all the award recipients, congratulations. Your accomplishments are a testament to your character, your passion, and your determination to make a difference. You are an inspiration to young people everywhere. And to everyone watching, these stories remind us why organizations like the Diana Award are so important. It is a reminder that when we invest in young people, when we provide them with the tools and opportunities to make a difference, they can truly change the world. A belief shared by my mother, and one I am proud to continue in her name.
As you can see, there was no virtue signaling, and William's speech was not only uplifting, but it was so motivational. That I can't say was the same thing for Prince Harry, and you'll notice it right away that it's all about getting people to rise up and join this movement, whatever movement that Harry is trying to push. And I find it so off-putting.
Changing the world must be a collective global effort with everyone playing their role and utilizing the platforms that they have.
Well, sometimes it's easy to question one's ability to make a difference, and your point about change for the better as a collective force is so important. When someone steps up to be of service, they automatically join this collective. No one is ever a conduit for change alone. Each one of us has the ability to help create a more equitable world.
I'm not going to play the rest of it because it's so irritating the way that he continues with the same 5 words, and I'm tired of him telling everybody that we should be using our voice when he and his wife have been actively trying to silence people.
The obstacles can sometimes seem overwhelming. But what gives me hope is the collective power we possess when we work together. The strength in diversity of voices and perspectives that encompass it.
Just shut up, Harry. Please, just shut up. The only thing that was apparently clear here is that Harry is on a rebranding of his image, and this time it's without Meghan Markle. In the past years, Harry has mentioned his wife, his son, his family. This year, nada. Who could forget this speech that Meghan wrote for Harry in 2020?
My wife said recently that our generation and the ones before us haven't done enough to right the wrongs of the past. I too am sorry. Institutional racism has no place in our societies, yet it is still endemic. Unconscious bias must be acknowledged without blame to create a better world for all of you. And it is your voice that is far more important than mine.
Then it happened again in 2021.
As it has done for 21 years now, the Diana Award carries her legacy forward by putting young people at the centre of our future. And this has never been more important, and Megan and I fundamentally believe that our world is at the cusp of change, real change, for the good of all, where our communities are supported and uplifted, and where we are considerate and compassionate to each other, both online and off. Never be afraid to do what's right. Stand up for what you believe in, and trust that when you live by truth and in service to others...
How is he not embarrassed by this? I mean, when you look back and listen to this, it's so comical. Then in 2022, the wheels start coming off and Meg's name is no longer mentioned, but he still talks about his family, and of course, he's leaning more into his mother.
And I see my mum's legacy when I look at my own children every single day. And now, as a husband and a parent, my mother's voice is even stronger in my life.
He really does believe that Meghan is talking to Diana, his mother. And say
I truly believe that Meghan and Harry are in a PR war, and today was Harry's day because of the Diana Award. Even though it wasn't that impressive, he still was dominating the headlines with his brother. Megsy couldn't handle that, so what does she do? She tells her little propagandist minions to push out this story about Ipso coming to the conclusion of upholding a complaint about Jeremy Clarkson that was opened back in December 2022. The case was closed out April this year. So what do you think she did? She held on to it and waited for this moment to snatch the headlines away from Harry. How pathetic is that? Anyhow, that's all I have for you today. We do know that tomorrow it'll probably be something else, but definitely leave your comments below, and you know it, as always, I will be back with more content, but until then, please be safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye!
It was such a fraud.